Michael woke up at 6 in the morning, turned off his alarm, and before he even got out of bed, the same thought crossed his mind, the one he'd been repeating to himself for years. I work every single day, so why am I still broke? He took a shower, grabbed a quick cup of coffee, and headed to work. He spent 8 hours working hard, came home exhausted, and eagerly waited for payday, convinced that his next paycheck would finally solve all of his financial problems. But that day never came. If you've ever believed that making more money would solve all your problems, stick around until the end of this video. Because the real reason so many people stay poor isn't always the size of their paycheck. In many cases, it's the habits they repeat every single day without even realizing it. Whenever Michael got paid, he felt a rush of excitement. For a brief moment, he truly believed that this time everything would be different. But just a few days later, most of that money was gone. He bought clothes he didn't really need. He upgraded his phone long before the old one stopped working. And he spent money trying to convince other people that he was doing well financially. The funny part? The people he was trying to impress barely noticed. While Michael was busy looking rich, he was still living with the exact same financial problems he'd always had. Over time, he realized something incredibly important. People who actually build wealth don't buy things to impress others. They buy assets, knowledge, and opportunities that will make them more money in the future. Every Friday looked exactly the same. Michael went out with his friends, spent a large portion of his paycheck, and repeated a phrase that millions of people say all the time. You only live once. And he was right. You only live once. But you also only get one chance to build a better future. Spending everything you earn might make you happy for a few hours, but it can leave you stressed for the rest of the month. While other people were thinking about how to invest or save part of their income, Michael was only focused on enjoying the present. After work, he came home completely exhausted. He lay down on the couch, opened social media, and before he knew it, 3 or 4 hours had disappeared watching short videos. At the end of the day, he felt like he hadn't learned anything at all.
1 year later, his life looked exactly the same. Meanwhile, other people were using those same hours to learn English, develop valuable skills, read books, study sales, start businesses, or improve their careers. They weren't smarter than Michael. They simply understood that every hour invested in learning could increase their income for years to come. Whenever someone asked Michael why he wasn't making progress, he always found someone else to blame. He said the economy was terrible, the government wasn't helping, rich people were just lucky, or his boss would never give him a raise. Maybe some of those things were true, but none of them changed his bank account. The day he stopped looking for someone to blame and started asking himself what he could do to improve, he began seeing opportunities that had always been there. He had also been afraid to invest in himself. He thought paying for a course, a book, or professional training was too expensive. Yet he never hesitated to spend that exact same amount on fast food, entertainment, or impulse purchases. Without realizing it, he was investing every single month, just not in the right things. Instead of investing in knowledge that could benefit him for the rest of his life, he was investing in things that disappeared almost instantly. As time went on, Michael started paying attention to the people around him. Every conversation turned into a competition over who had the most problems. Everyone complained about work, criticized other people, and talked about how impossible it was to become wealthy. Nobody talked about creating something new. Nobody talked about learning. Nobody talked about growing. And he realized it was incredibly difficult to change his life when he spent most of his time surrounded by people who had already given up trying. Little by little, Michael started making small changes. He began saving before spending. He learned new skills. He stopped buying things just to impress people who weren't even thinking about him. He changed the way he used his time, and he started surrounding himself with people who talked about goals, opportunities, and personal growth. He didn't become a millionaire overnight, but something far more important happened. He stopped behaving like someone who was destined to stay poor. Because poverty doesn't always begin in your wallet. More often than not, it begins in the way you think, the decisions you make every day, and the habits you repeat without ever questioning them. The good news is, any habit can be changed, and when your habits change, your future changes too. So here's the question. Will you keep doing what you've always done? Or will today be the day you start building the life you truly want?